Once upon a time a girl was born with an extraordinary gift. As a tiny infant the gift was revealed, though it was not until she was 4 or 5 that her parents realized what a treasure it was. She was born with a beautiful voice that always sang on key, no matter what. In a land that valued song, her gift was precious indeed. Seela grew up knowing her gift was sought after and loved by the people around her. "You will marry a prince," they would say, and then beg her to sing for them. She was pleasant-hearted as well as gifted, so she would sing for their harvest dances and sing at their church services and sing on the market streets when asked. Soon word traveled around the land of the lovely girl who could sing as beautifully as a nightingale. A prince from the neighboring kingdom heard the news and decided at once to go and visit. "This girl may be just what I am looking for," he told his parents. He took his servant, packed his things, and headed toward the land of the singing girl. One day, as Seela was wandering the market streets, the baker stuck his head out of his shop. "Dearest Seela," he called, "sing for us all." As usual, the girl smiled and did what was requested. The busy street slowed and the villagers tilted their heads to enjoy the music. A few women twirled with their grocery baskets, letting their feet patter out a waltz on the cobblestone streets. Seela laughed as she finished and the baker tossed her a fresh sweet roll from his baking pan. "Thank you," he called, and she waved happily as she cupped the warm roll in her hands. When she turned to continue down the street she nearly ran into someone. Stepping back, she tilted her head to look up at the man before her. When her gaze landed on the thin gold band across his forehead, she drew in a sharp breath. "Hello, fair maiden." The prince bowed gallantly. Seela could hardly catch her breath. He was more dashing, more handsome, than any of the men she knew. Why was he looking at her so intently? "I have never heard a voice like yours before," the prince said. "Do sing again." Seela glanced around and saw that all the villagers were watching with wide eyes. Her mind scrambled to think of a song. All she could remember was the lullaby her mother sang to her as a child. Her voice stuttered slightly at the beginning, but the gift soon took over and she sang the sweet words across the market street. "Take me to your father," the prince said when she had finished. His look was so direct, her heart turned over in her chest. "This way," she said, motioning for him to follow her. They had only taken a few steps when she felt someone reaching for her basket. She looked over to see the servant lifting the heavy load from her arms. "Thank you," she whispered. The man simply nodded, smiling gently. When they arrived at the house, the servant reached to open the door and held it as they entered. For the first time, Seela felt uncomfortable going into her own home. What would the prince think of her family, of their modest house, their chipped dishes, and mismatched chairs? She watched him carefully, searching for any looks of distaste. His face gave away nothing and she breathed a sigh of relief. Her father greeted the prince without a flicker of surprise. "Have a seat," he told the younger man. The prince waited for his servant to pull out the chair, and then sat carefully. Seela reached to pull out her own chair but her hand landed on the servant's instead of the chair back. He smiled and winked as he pulled it out. "Thank you," she whispered. He nodded and then stepped back. "Your daughter has a tremendous gift," the prince began. Her father listened intently. Seela felt her face flushing. The prince's words continued. They were bold and strong. He spoke with authority and his looks in her direction sent shivers up her spine. For so many years she had dreamed of a prince arriving, and here he was. The gift had served her well. Her cheeks stained pink again with the thought. Her throat was dry. A clinking noise drew her attention up to the table. The servant set a glass of water in front of her. She reached for it and smiled his way. His response was another nod and a full-blown grin. That's strange, she thought, I do believe his eyes dance when he smiles that way. She drank the water hungrily. After a moment Sela's father turned to her. Take a turn in the garden, daughter. We will talk more. She nodded and rose to leave. Her chair slid out behind her. Thank you, she whispered again to the servant. She reached for the door and it opened before her. To her surprise, the servant followed her outside. I think they desire to talk alone, the man said in explanation. Do you mind if I walk the garden with you, or would you rather have some privacy? Oh, do come along, Sela responded pleasantly. The two walked through the rows of peonies. Their sweet smell hung heavy in the air. After a moment, the servant spoke. Are you nervous? Sela looked at him. She thought of the handsome prince sitting at her kitchen table speaking to her father. A little. She paused her walking. Well, I am and I am not. If it is real, I am nervous. But I have not convinced my mind that it is real as of yet. You must have turned down many a man's hand by this time, the servant observed. Sela laughed outright. Oh, my, no. She shook her head. I do not think another man has even talked to my father. The servant looked at her,